with their topic, supporting career practitioners in war conflict affected zones. So I'm giving the floor to you, dear colleagues.
Thank you, Lilia. Thank you everyone for joining. We would like to start today's panel discussion with some background information. So according to the United Nations Security Council's report for 2024, there are more than 50 active war zones and conflict areas around the world. Recently, we witnessed too many war anniversaries, including the 6 months of war in Gaza, 1 year of the war in Sudan, and the 2 years in Ukraine. Others, like the civil wars in Lebanon and in Yemen, have long-term devastating consequences that impact millions of people. Courageous colleagues who remain in war zones continue assisting today young people and adults, whether helping finding opportunities to relocate to those who can afford, informing senior secondary and post-secondary students who opt for academic opportunities abroad, or simply offering an anchor to what normal life can look like when the war is over. The Asia Pacific Career Development Association has put forward a new multifold project to support our colleagues who work currently in war zones and conflict areas. We are pleased to announce that in this first year, we have accepted 11 scholars. We are honored to have with us on the panel 4 of these amazing colleagues. Mr. Akram al-Baghdadi is joining from the West Bank, Dr. Denis Sviridenko from Kyiv, Ms. Camelia Safatli from Tripoli, and Ms. Farha bin Bashar from Aden. They will discuss about their personal and professional journeys, their key challenges, and what support or resources would be most useful in their context. Now, with us also are Dr. Serene Lynn Stevens, APCDA President, and Mr. Alan Gattenby, who is the President-elect, who have been my partners since early January in this important projects. And of course, their support together with the board of APCDA was instrumental in making it a reality. I would like to give the floor now to our scholars to introduce themselves, starting with Akram, who comes first, then Dennis, Camelia, and Farha. Akram, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. My name is Akram Baghdadi, and I am working with Education USA as Education USA advisor in Gaza city, but now I am stuck in West Bank because, you know, I was visiting West Bank 2 days before the war broke out in Gaza. Our Education USA Center is affiliated to the Department of State, and we are located at Amid East office in Gaza City, and you know we serve the students and the public in all over the Gaza Strip. You know, I have been working with Amid East about almost 28 years, and with Education USA about 25 years. So it's been a long time, and during this journey, you know, I have experience working with the students, and you know, we used to work on them in choosing their subjects and career, future career study for them. And during you know, this journey, we learned a lot. But you know, recently when I participated in career development training, and I been, you know, certified as a career development counselor, I learned a lot, and I'm looking forward, you know, learning and meeting more colleagues in this conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Akram. Dennis?
Hello, dear colleagues. My name is Denis Sviridenko. I'm from Ukraine, and I'm a professor, and I'm a chairman of the UNESCO chair. You see some identities here. So our chair had the UNESCO certification, and this opportunity help us to build a lot of the bridges for developing international cooperation to find the colleagues under UNESCO chairs program umbrella. And today I will try to share my personal experience because from one hand, Ukraine has active phase of war since 2022, but since 2040, we had the low-scale phase of the military conflict. And since that time, we already had the issues on career development for the educators who were, for example, the staff of the relocated universities, because a lot of universities left that zones and come to Ukrainian more safe territories, and also a lot of migration issues for educators. So today I will be focused on educators and their educators, researchers, and their challenges since 2040 and especially since 2022. So I hope that next year our meeting will be in more peaceful atmosphere, and we will discuss the possibilities how to avoid military conflicts in the future, and we will discuss the methodological issues of peace building and not the critical issues of our everyday life. Thanks a lot for your attention.
Thank you, Dennis. Amelia.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Camelia Safatli. I'm the Grants Program Manager currently at the Alawite Islamic Charity Association. I will start by saying that I'm from Tripoli, Lebanon, not Tripoli, Libya, because sometimes people get confused about these two. I'm from one of the most vulnerable communities in Tripoli, the northern area, one that was affected by several armed clashes between sectarian parties. I'm presenting Lebanon here today to say that despite all the turmoils and all the challenges and clashes and conflicts, that every time we try to just see the light and try to develop, something happens to drop us down, starting from the Beirut blast to the socioeconomic crisis that's happening in Lebanon. All our money are trapped in the banks. We lost everything, but this will never disappoint us. This will never stop us from dreaming. Anytime I might be losing the internet connection now, so apologies for this. Despite all these challenges, we will still fight to reach the best minimum that we deserve, to scale up, to show what we have, to reflect our story, and to ask the international community to believe that we can do it. Our local actors, we are well capacitated to lead. We know what we want. We can do more for less. Please consider our potential and try to support us to implement direct through us rather than through several channels. And then the part of the support is being subsidized because what reaches us is the minimum of the support being granted. I don't want to take so much. I'm an architect, by the way, so I'm volunteered with ICA because there was a need in the community to support. I do have my job. I had in rehabilitation, and I volunteered in writing for them the proposals because language was a barrier for them to reflect the needs. And they used to pay a lot to hire grants writers. So I volunteered, and today I'm the grants program manager, transmitting the message, transferring the needs, and showing the world the skills that we have and the needs that we can together achieve. Thank you.
Thank you, Camelia. Very inspiring. And the youngest of our scholars, Farha. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I am very, very glad to be here among you all. Today is like my first and my first, time to be among, global people, global professional people. So I'll start introducing myself. My name is Farha bin Bashir. I am pretty much like Akram. I am with Education USA. So I started with Amides like in 2009. In 2019, I started as an instructor, English language instructor, and then I moved to the part of being virtual facilitator for an exchange program. So right now I am the International Education Officer at the Exchange Office here, Department at Amadeus Saadan. So what happened is a long time ago, Amadeus used to offer scholarships for Yemeni students, to explore the world and cultures and to, have good experience of have a career outside Yemen. But right after the war, a lot of reconstructions happened, starting with the territories that are being controlled by the Houthi. So a lot of scholarships are being held due to security reasons and so. So my current career as an advisor, I'm trying my best to help students to not lose hope and not lose interest in finding, other opportunities outside Yemen, since a lot of education, facilities have been decreased and they're not being accredited professionally around the world. So finding a career outside, that helps them, to come back to Yemen and, improve, first of all, the education system, and then, improve their knowledge about, having a great, career development that is going to help them, to do a lot to their country or give back to their country. So I am here among you all today to learn a lot about professional career development and to meet a lot of great people like Akram, Kamila, and Dennis also. I'm really, really glad and I'm not the only one who's being in a career, in a, an area of zone conflict. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Farha. Serene, I'll pass the baton to you to move forward with our discussion.
Thank you, Sini, and thank you, Akram, Dennis, Camilla, and Farah. Thank you so much for your self-introduction. So we just have two questions for you. The first one being, and hopefully you'll be able to share with us your personal experiences, what, the daily struggles that you've been going through. And by the way, thank you so much for overcoming technological challenges also to join us in this conference. So thank you so much. So the first question is, what are the main challenges that you have experienced in terms of when you provide career guidance and support in conflict afflicted areas that you are in? And whoever's willing to go first, please go ahead. Yeah, Camilla, thank you.
Okay, I will start. Honestly, it's very challenging when you try to inspire youth and people in general who have lost any kind of hope in a challenging country like the one I'm living in. Honestly, I'm having now goosebumps when I'm talking because it's something that touched the heart. I'm Brazilian Lebanese, so everyone tells me, why are you still in Lebanon? Just leave. You have the nationality, you can go fetch work somewhere else. My mission is that as long as I can still function here, I will remain with the family. I will try to help others to have this sense of hope that I'm believing that we will reach it someday. It's something in our blood, the Lebanese people, that we are survivors. From the very beginning challenges that happen till current day, every time we collapse, we stand the second day. So this kind of hope, we should believe in it so we can transmit it to others. One of the main challenges, other than the disappointment and encouragement in youth, is that every time we try to direct them to development path and educational path, major challenges like humanitarian crisis affect. So rather than thinking development, we go back to humanitarian support. So this constant dilemma that we don't know what to do, instead of securing the basic needs and thinking of development and improvement and career path, we are going back to fetching, to secure the basic need, which is food, health, and education. And that's really not something acceptable anymore in 2024. We should be overcoming these challenges to think of how we can innovate, improve, and scale up. Despite all these challenges, and I'm a dreamer, as well as most of my colleagues in this organization, our mission is to keep pushing them. If we couldn't make it, they will do it. And that's the thing that we are working on daily basis. Thank you.
Thank you, Camilla. Anyone else who would like to share your thoughts? Dennis, Farah, or Akram?
Okay. Thanks. Answering this framework question, I want to underline that our chair, our university involved in some research activities that are the basement for some internationally recognized reports. And 1 month ago, our country made a presentation of the UNESCO report on the losses of Ukrainian research area during the wartime. So in my speech and presentation, I will also try to share some numbers, some percentages of the career challenges. But first of all, from my personal journey and associated with some career issues, my family went to Germany when the war came, and my wife, she is the FM radio Ukrainian star, and she went to Germany, and in 2 months she came back saying that I can't develop my Ukrainian star career being in Germany and thinking about McDonald's activities and so on. So this is my personal journey. And our everyday life is a kind of mosaic of the everyday schedule, because when you go to university, you have your schedule of meetings, schedule of classes, and then rocket attack happens. You have to go to bomb shelter, make changes in your classes, move the classes from morning to evening, and sometimes at evening you have also some security issues. So for all the educators, and in my presentation, I will speak exactly about educators. So the everyday life and everyday activities are too flexible. What are the main challenges according to this UNESCO report? So we have losses of the infrastructure for more than 1 billion and 1.3 billions of dollars for restore of infrastructure, for restore the university activities. Sorry, this is security issues, and also more than 40% of Ukrainian researchers, educators are forced to work remotely. And also we understand that more than 50 countries opened the door for our people. And now we have to deal with a lot of education policies, a lot of issues of hybrid education and so on, and the issues of precarity. When your home is demolished, you can stay even in Ukraine. So the precarity issue is a kind of big framework for Ukrainian people. Thanks a lot for your attention.
Thank you. Can I start? Hello?
Yes, Akram, thank you.
Can I start? Okay,
Yes,
just, to give you an idea what we are talking about, just want to give you a brief about the Gaza Strip. All these before the war started. Gaza Strip is a very small area. It's a coastal area at the Mediterranean. It's about 365 kilometers squared. It means, 141 square miles, which is a very small area with around about 2 million Palestinians are living in Gaza, and this is considered one of the highest population density all over the world. More than 70% of the Gaza population are refugees, half of whom are under age of 18 years old, means we are a young community. And we have about 2% annual population growth. And Gaza unemployment rate is very high. We are talking about almost 50%. For sure, this was before the war started. And in general, the unemployment among youth is about 70%. But despite these statistics about the rate of the literacy is 97, which is one of the highest rate among the region actually. Means we are educated people in Gaza. The many challenges we face actually in Gaza. The first one is restricted movement, because Gaza is a small place, but it's almost closed. I mean the borders, either by Israel, and we have only one crossing, other than the Israel to Egypt, and it's most of the time it's closed, and it's not easy for the people to move, in and out of the Gaza Strip. And, the closure, making it challenging for individuals to access to education or training programs, job opportunity, and career development services outside of the Gaza by, traveling to other countries, either abroad or in the region. This is the first challenges we face. The second one is the infrastructure damage. The frequent conflict and military operations in the Gaza Strip have led to a significant damage for the infrastructure, including schools, universities, vocational training centers, and workplaces. And again, this was before the last war. But, during the last war, all the 8 universities are completely destroyed. 80%, according to the UN statistics, 80% of the schools have been completely destroyed. And, this affect the people and the career development support dramatically actually. And one of the main challenges now we are facing is the psychological impact. The population of Gaza Strip has been exposed to a long conflict, violence, siege conditions, this leading to widespread trauma, anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. And I do believe that, addressing the mental health needs of individuals is essential for successful career guidance. And, we, once, the war stops, we need to figure out how to, help not only the students I work with actually, but, all the people in Gaza. And one of the main challenges also the economic challenges. The Gaza Strip faces economic challenges such as higher unemployment rates, limited job opportunities, and lack of investment in sustainable industries. And this economic instability affect individuals' ability to pursue meaningful career and economic independence, because sometimes you find people who want to study or to work in technology, but they don't have the infrastructure or the companies to work in this field in Gaza Strip. And one of the challenges also limited resources, like organization providing career development support in Gaza Strip often face resource constraints, including funding shortage, limited access to technology and vocational training resources, and shortage of qualified career counselors and mentors. I mean by qualified, trained, and have the resources to which make them more professional career counselors. And one of the last challenges is the political and social context. The ongoing political tensions and social dynamic in the region can create additional barriers to career development, including discrimination, gender inequalities, and limited opportunities for marginalized communities. Because sometimes it's not easy, or it's hard to reach these communities in Gaza Strip. These are the main challenges we been facing in Gaza for a long time ago. And addressing these challenges requires a comprehensive approach that includes rebuilding infrastructure, providing mental health support, fostering economic opportunities, or investing in education and vocational training. And this vision we are seeing not right now, just we hope the war will stop very soon, and we need to figure out how to help our community in Gaza, and especially in career development. These are the main challenges we are facing now, but as I just mentioned, we are working in a very small place, and with but 2 million people, it's a lot, for them to face such challenges actually in this small piece of land. And as I just mentioned before, we are one of the most educated communities in the region. And I used to work with the students, and most of them are smart, intelligent, and eager for education. And for example, for the last 3-4 years ago, we used to send through our organization students to the United States to study there in the universities, and many of them go to elite schools, to Harvard, MIT, Stanford, each year. 2 years ago, we sent 3 students to study for bachelor degree in MIT, one and two in Stanford, and we have students in Harvard, and these elite schools. This means our community is eager for education and for a better life. Thank you.
Thank you, Akram. Thank you so much to have put so succinctly the decades of struggles that you've been witnessing and going through. Thank you. Farah, are you ready to share your experience? Thank you.
Yes. I can't say much as like what Akram explained, and Dennis as well. They're like the struggles they're facing are like harder than the ones that we are facing here. But technically speaking, that since the war, Yemen have been divided to two parts, and some areas are the northern side and the southern side. So Ahmadis used to work at Ahmadis activities used to cover all Yemen. So all Yemeni students used to benefit from Ahmadis activities, scholarships, training, and so on. So right after the war, what happened is that we are restricted to only 3 cities in Yemen. I am not allowed to go to the other cities and, to practice the activities or even to give virtual advising sessions for these areas that are being controlled under the Houthis. So the challenge that we're facing is a security challenge, is a personal safety. So like as an example of this, my previous colleague who was working with Education USA, she was located in Sana'a. So she was not permitted to do any kind of, activity that even if she mentioned the word US or American university, she might get arrested or something like that. I mean, so due to this thing, she had, to resign from her job, though she was like, she spent a very, very long time at Education USA. So it's very sad that not a lot of students and getting the benefits of, our advising sessions, since our education system, due to these, civil conflicts that are happening in both areas, the southern and the northern, the education system is being demolished, totally demolished. I mean, it's not improving, not even the curriculum is getting developed at all. So students are not getting benefits in the southern in the northern side, and only a very, very small number of students will get the opportunity, to have good internet services at these areas that are not in Aden, but they're a bit like in Taiz and Mukalla. So my job is very restricted, to only have small groups of students. They will get the chance, either, to have, to attend, advising sessions, to know about, the educational system outside Yemen, and to get at least a small amount of, motivation that will help them, to know that there's, there are a lot of opportunities outside and they can approach. Unfortunately, due to even this thing, they are not seeing these opportunities, to be taken academically. They're looking for, other illegal ways, to escape, this country, to go outside. Even if, students, we're facing this issue when students are being, are getting, scholarships or any kind of small programs, to travel to the US. They just, run away. They don't come back. So due to this, a lot of, scholarships and a lot of, small programs, like small exchange programs are being restricted for Yemenis. So there are no MENA scholarships for Yemenis. There are a lot of things that being, restricted and stopped from Yemeni students. Due to these, things, the personal security, the personal security, and so. And the other thing is that the trainings, that because of these restrictions, of the activities that we cannot conduct, to a large number of students, a lot of students cannot have the basic, trainings of English language training that we are offering at MDs. So economically is also being affected by this kind of, restricted laws, that students are not getting, the opportunities to come to Aden to have, trainings, or we cannot, open offices there, to have, or classes, to train them. There are a lot of restricted, challenges that faces our students. So we are every day like trying, to figure out one way or another, to reestablish, these kind of programs. Even if they are virtual programs, you can at least, reach a big number of these students who are like not receiving a very good educational trainings. We really face a lot of, close-minded, people, students. Actually, it's really sad that we are in 2024 and a lot of students are not having this kind of, motivation, to study something different than the one that we have already, or just to complete, their education system outside. They're just having this mentality, okay, I'll just complete secondary school, I'll go to a public university, which is only one university here in Aden. Or if my family is rich or rich, I can go to a private university, where there are only a few number of them. So we cannot have, the like students' interest because of these, even when we are telling them that there are, we have an advising session that is one of the US universities offering. So we invite students, and so we get like disappointed that only a few number of them are going to attend, and a very, very few number is going to ask, questions that are related, to how to register. No, they would ask, how to immigrate, how to move from Yemen, I was like, the thing is that their mentality is that we cannot do something here in Yemen. So if they're really depressed to the point that we're telling them that we do have, there is only one student who we tried really hard with, and last year he got a scholarship at one of the US universities, and we were just having this student as an example that, see, this student could do it, you can also do it. And it's not a hard thing, to go to Egypt, to do to have your interview, your visa interview. And so students here in Yemen are really, really depressed due to these kind of challenges that, this, especially the security one and the economical one. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Farah. Thank you. So what we might do, and thank you so much. I think we started this theme, it's 2024 and this is still happening. Camilla started it, Farah just mentioned it. I'm having goosebumps here because here in Australia, when I travel elsewhere, I always think, it's 2024. I still have to have this many travel plugs. Why can't all the country just get this together and have some sort of standardized, I just feel it's not sustainable. It really is so symbolic about the divisions that human beings have created amongst each other. But this is nothing to compare with what you guys have been going through, our war zone scholars, because you can't even, Farah just told us she can't even travel to another city that is within her country. So you are working under such difficult circumstances. It's now time for us to all brainstorm together to see what kind of support that we can provide as a professional community to our war zone colleagues. So Ellen and Cindy will be leading the Q&A and provides perhaps some commentary as well. And we really do welcome our participants here to also put up your hands. Perhaps you wanted to reach out and engage with one of our war zone scholars and see if there's resources that you can share or things we can do together to support each other. Ellen and Cindy, I'll hand over.
Yeah, thanks, Serene. And when we first proposed this session, we knew two things. Firstly, it would be moving time would disappear. And that's exactly what has happened. You know, my senses, and Serene articulated it very well. She's sitting there with goosebumps, but I don't think she is the only one. And also I see some of that emotion on the faces of Camilla and Dennis and Farha and Akram. That, you know, Farha said this is the first time she's been able to speak to an international community, and what a voice she is, and what a voice for each of you you are. My role in this panel discussion was to try and listen and hear the voices. But I'm mindful that Sini and Serene and I have spent other time with our 4 panelists. And I just really would like a minute or two to open it up to the other people who are in on this discussion to make a quick comment or to ask a question or to indicate in some way what has listening to Camilla and Dennis and Farha and Akram, what has it meant for you? So just very quickly in your chat box, or if you can open your mic and we just take some quick comment. This is not a time to be shy. So this is a time to just be raw. I mean, this is the space we're working in. This is raw feeling, raw emotion, raw thinking. But what will happen is that our thinking and our feeling will connect, and we will build a greater sense of understanding and empathy. So Danita, Neela, Marilyn, Sarah, Nancy, Jennifer, Mia, Frol, or Christopher, if you have something that you'd like to ask or just say, use an emoticon, thumb up, heart, clap, whatever you're thinking, feeling at the moment. Could you just give us some indication, please? Heart. Thanks, Neela.
Neela,
Lilia, yeah.
May I share my feelings about the situation, and I just this situation is very critical, so critical in the world, and I just wonder at the power and energy that motivates the researchers, counselors, career counselors to do their research. Because myself, being side of the situation in my country, but observing even the situation sometimes makes me so devastated, anxious about my work, that it looks like I'm doing everything in vain. But I'm just happy to hear and motivated so much that my colleagues in those countries affected by war so strong, and they continue doing their work. They continue supporting other people. This is so important because if they give up, so who will do that? So I'm just happy to hear about those people's activities, about your strengths in this area.
Thanks, Lilia. Beautifully expressed your words of gratitude and admiration. Yeah. Do we have any other comments or thoughts just at this point? Because I am mindful of time, and look, the second thing that we knew before we started this session was this would not be the last. This may be the first kiss, but it will not be the last kiss. And so, you know, that's the link. So can I just then maybe try to bring a few ideas together? Firstly, Camilla, you spoke about and you reminded us so well that despite all the challenges and despite all the limitations and isolation and the uncertainty, locals still know best what to do. And I think that's such a priceless piece of wisdom, and thank you for sharing that with us. That it reminds us that as we sit in our comforts, not faced with the same uncertainties that you people are, it is easy for us, as Serene said, to forget that this is 2024. Life should not be, contain these challenges of technology that won't work, but this is a daily lifestyle for you. So thank you for that. Dennis and Akram and Farha, you each spoke very passionately about the sense of isolation and grief or loss of that which freed those basic freedoms. And again, Camilla, you touched on this also when you're talking about the focus being on survival, basic needs, food, water, these things. And yes, we have an understanding of that, but we have a different comprehension of what that isolation really means. And the infrastructure question, which is, you know, right across. And Akram, I really valued when your point about one of the things that you will need in Gaza will be the training of people who can help rebuild. And, you know, we are a professional organization, a professional association, and we ought to be able to help in that sort of endeavor. But it will take time, it will take patience, and it will take more understanding. And so that's what I'm also hearing in here is this is only the beginning. And so, you know, I am very mindful. Our colleague, Dr. Brian Schwartz, and I will be talking a little bit more about this on Friday in a presentation. Basa, enough, you know, we're saying we want just to really raise a question. Okay, we're in a state of collapse. Your communities have collapsed and are collapsing even further. And all that you know and could reasonably expect to know has almost seemingly been taken away. But what can we do and what does need to be done? Brian and I have been inspired by the words of Margaret Wheatley. And what she talks about is the way forward is to create islands of sanity. What a great concept. An island of sanity. And so Brian and I are going to put to the conference that APCDA has taken an incredibly important step in that direction. But our goal and our part of our mission could well be creating an island of sanity in career development practice across the globe. And so that would be something that I'd be very proud of to be associated with as president-elect and president and past immediate past president. That would be, if I could contribute to creating an island of sanity, that would be my lifetime achievement. And I would be so proud to have walked that with the people here. So Mohammed, Anita, Neela, Sarah, Nancy, and Jennifer, Mia, Christopher, and Grace, thank you also for showing an interest in contributing to this discussion, showing a commitment to building an island of sanity or the possibility of having an island of sanity, which will only happen if we can continue the conversation. So other comments I might leave and create a little newsletter item post-conference. And I look forward to inviting everyone here to the next conversation, which will be post-conference, I think. But certainly there will be further conversations, not only with Camilla and Dennis and Farha and Akram, but also the other 7 scholars that are part of our great association. So again, thank you all. And Sini, are there any other words that you would like to share with the group before we have to draw this discussion to a close?
I just want to thank everyone for being here today, showing their support, to thank also our scholars overcoming all the challenges to be with us today and share about their journey. As you mentioned, this is the first of many more opportunities that we are going to have during and after the conference also to come together, to work together. And I will leave this session with one comforting thought, that by putting our energy and our heart together, we can make the world a little bit better. Maybe we cannot solve all the issues, all the problems, but at least making it a little bit better for today and for tomorrow. So thank you all for joining. Appreciate it. And together with us is also Frol. Frol is another scholar from Ukraine. I would encourage you all to network, to connect, to have opportunities, to create more opportunities to come together, learn more about one another. We have 11 amazing people, and we have to learn a lot from them and with them. So thank you all.
Thank you once again for joining. I would like to thank all those colleagues who facilitated this discussion, very important discussion, and thank you to our colleagues from war-affected areas. So thank you.
Thanks to you, Liliana. You've done a great job. Fantastic.
This is the conference app to network with each other, send messages with each other, build relationships. This is just the beginning, and Ellen and Cindy and I, we will be in touch again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stay safe. Stay safe.
Thank you, everyone.